Good morning, everyone. It is time to discover crypto. It's Wednesday, October 11th. It's October 11th. It is 10:32 a.m. It took us a minute or two, but we finally got there. Guys, we switched it up a little bit. We got Kelly and Drew on the ones and twos. How are y'all two doing?
Doing good. Busy morning, but it's fun to get a little bit of news to talk about. Some PPI, some charts. I'm happy to be here, man.
You know, when you first came here, I made fun of that cardigan, and now I feel bad. Let me just go ahead and make a public apology. I made fun of his cardigan. I said he looked like a substitute English teacher. Now I'm jealous of the comfort and warmth that it probably provides.
Hey, you know, the older you get, you stop worrying about how just looking good. And, you know, when you got this jawline, it's okay. You can wear any cardigan.
Hey, man, he's got that high T jaw, baby. Drew, how are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. You know, getting after it.
Bob, it's a bunch of dudes talking crypto. Of course, they're late. It's the culture. Well, you know what? Let's get right into the stories here. Well, first, we're going to look at CoinGecko. We got to start throwing that up there. Threw me off. It wasn't up. All right. Well, we're going to wait for CoinGecko. Yes, I'm a human. I'm verifying. I am real. I'm a real breathing. I'm too alive. I'm too alive. They're trying to take me down. All right. Let's get into the crypto market cap here. We are down 0.6%. You can see it up here. Market cap coming in at $1.09 trillion. 24-hour volume coming in at 36 billion, and Bitcoin dominance 48.2. Gas still very, very cheap, 9 gwei. So if you want to get in and out of those cheap alts, now is your chance, folks. I might go ahead and well, I was going to say I have to go ahead and restake my ape and get the ape going, but I got to leave the country to do that because as an American citizen and I follow all local rules and regulations. So some point today, I'm going to get outside of the U.S., restake my ape since gas is so cheap. So if you want to do some DeFi moves, now is the time. All right, well, let's look at the crypto prices here. Bitcoin's holding on to dear life here, folks. It is hanging on by a thread for 27K here. It's barely above 27,048 bucks. If we click on it, I just want to see if we got a couple brief flirtations with 27K, but wanted to knock on 27K, said nope, and then knocked again, nope, and now maybe trying to knock one more time. It's a knocking on the door there. Ethereum is down 0.7%, coming in at 1568. BNB down also 0.7%. XRP, though, down 1.8%. Solana down 0.9. Cardano down 0.7. But we do have something moving up. It's Telegram's, sorry, not Telegram's coin, just kind of semi-related. Yeah. Ton coin is up 0.4% here. And Chainlink, even though the markets are down, Chainlink is up 0.2%. All right, well, let's look at the top gainers. Hopefully it's more than 0.4. Hopefully it's more than 0.2. Do we have some in maybe the 5% digits here? We do, and it's a DZ coin. Whoa, Rollbit is up 5.7%, but is still down for the week. So I'm not going to celebrate just yet. Radix is up 3.2. FracShares up 2.2. And Maker. Kelly, anything in the market screaming at you here? I mean, Bitcoin really, really trying to hold on to that 27K.
I mean, it's everybody's still wanting things to just push bullish, and you know the context of the markets is saying otherwise at the moment. I mean, we could pull up some charts here in a few minutes, but there's a couple things I'm noticing also with things like quant. We're seeing a couple other opportunities in the market, things that were so high. If you're worried about price dropping right now, what are you doing? Look for the opportunity. I'm looking for a little further downside, but right now it's just patience. Let's get into that news, man.
Let's get into the news. We are going to look at the biggest losers. And you're looking at them right now. It's easy. No, it's going to be some coins. This channel is never dead. You got that right, small face. Yeah, we're like the water people from Game of Thrones. What is dead? You never die again, or something. I can't remember. Do y'all remember what that quote was?
No,
I can't remember. It was the Greyjoys. All right, let's look at the biggest losers here. And I'm feeling a little joy because it is Caspa. Caspa is down. I haven't had a chance to buy any Caspa. I might try to get in at 3.9 cents, maybe then again at 2.9, and then again at 1.9. I'll just keep buying more and more as it goes lower. But I'm getting really close to my Caspa entry point here. We have IOTA is down 5%. Tezos down 4.4%. Immutable X is down 3.8 because it wouldn't be a top 5 list without some of DZ's coins in there. Stacks is down 3.8%. Then Avalanche, Mantle, Trust Wallet, XDC, DYDX, Atom, Thorchain, and then Near. Anything in here really screaming out. I see Trust Wallet just really peeling back some of the weekly gains there. What about
yeah, I was surprised at that. On the 7-day, looking, you know, the highest gains was Trust Wallet. I'm not sure, but maybe I missed a story. Did something happen in development there? Or...
Yeah, they did some upgrade. I can't recall exactly what it was, but yeah, they had a big partnership or something. Someone in the chat will type what it was. But yeah, for the week, no one has gained more than Trust Wallet. So you can see right there, just outperforming the rest of the market in the top 100, coming into 86.
But I got a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
So, you know, I've been in the market for a couple cycles now, and I'm seeing different coins kind of pop into resurgence, and also some just stay very, very flatline in terms of where they're at within the top 100. IOTA is one of those. IOTA was massive 2018, right? And so with the sort of advent of technology and how fast things are evolving, do you think that IOTA still stands a chance to do what it's supposed to do, Internet of Things, blockchain? Because every tech out there it feels like they're building in their own sort of blockchain technology. Do they even have an opportunity to stick around?
I don't know if Internet of Things is going to get a second wave. I'm surprised it even got the first wave. To me, day one, it sounded something I didn't want to have part of. What do you mean my toaster is going to talk to my router, which is going to talk to my fridge, which is then going to try to poison me because I'm lactose intolerant? I was just never on board with the Internet of Things from day one. I feel as people become more aware of surveillance techniques and Alexa, you know, other things, just listening, the phone is listening to you at all times. I think people are going to want to not have everything in their house connected. What do you think?
That's a great point. I feel like the evolution of technology made us want everything to be more convenient. And now that everything has become so convenient, it's almost like we're having that oscillation back towards, in perfect timing, a little bit more security and personal responsibility, a little less convenience, but that's kind of what's needed if we're going to really want to get adoption for crypto off the ground, because people need to not hold their keys on exchanges, and that means you're taking away some convenience.
Well, I'll tell you what's weird is you have your fridge and it's like, yeah, it knows when you're low on sour cream, and then it's going to like order, and it's linked up to your Publix or your Costco, and it's like auto filling your shopping cart, and it's just so easy for you. It just seems like consumerism run amok. All right, well, let's get into the top story here, folks. We got to talk about the trial, right? Have you been following this trial, guys? Drew,
Oh, yeah.
what are your thoughts of the trial?
Well, I mean, I saw that Gary Wing had to show the code, how it was like they actually had the fraud of their system like coded into their program. But the funniest part about it was that they labeled it very clearly, and then Gary Wing like was able to just show exactly, you know, how they allow negative funds and all of these things that he was directed to do. Seems more like Sam's just the fall guy, and he's going to be taking the brunt of the pain. He's going to have people flipping on him. I wonder where Trabuco's at these days.
Where is Trabuco? We had Anthony Ackley. I'm glad that message made it through. He said he's as serious as an Amber Heard turd. I don't know what the context is there, but I'm glad it made it through. The filters there. All right, let's talk about the FTX trial. What's happening here? We're about day 5, I want to say, into the trial, and now we have star testimony from Caroline Ellis. This is the former CEO of Alameda. This is the former lover of Sam Bankman-Fried and former polycule participant. Some say, I don't know what they say.
She was the ringleader.
You know what? I just know it's a gripping tale. It's a very gripping tale here. So star witness Caroline Ellison says Sam Bankman-Fried directed her to commit fraud. I sent balance sheets at the direction of Sam that made Alameda's balances look less risky to investors. So clear-cut fraud here being alleged here. So testifies she committed fraud at the direction of her ex-boyfriend and former colleague here. She's the government's highly anticipated star witness in the 6-week trial of Bankman-Fried. She was the CEO of Alameda Research. It was the hedge fund that stole billions from customers of its sister company, cryptocurrency exchange FTX here. They began questioning her by asking if she committed crimes, and if so, who she committed them with. She pled guilty to fraud and conspiracy charges last year, and she had said she had, and that she had committed them at the direction of Bankman-Fried. I sent balance sheets at the direction of Sam that made Alameda's balances look less risky to investors, testifying that they had taken funds to make its own investments. Her proximity to the business and lives is almost certain to give the jury its closest look yet, a decision-making that led to the epic collapse, especially those rural jurors there. Borrowing from FTX customers. She also talks about how they, quote-unquote, borrowed. It was borrowing, guys. We're just going to give it right back. When were you going to give it back? Well, 18 months, 36 months. Look, guys, that next bull run, we're going to make you right. Just don't withdraw anything in the meantime. Well, she said they use FTX funds, but to keep money on FTX to meet customer withdrawal requests. A lot of this money went to loans made to members of the inner circle, with funds going towards investment in political donations. Bankman-Fried thought the political donation strategy was highly effective, offering very high returns in terms of political influence at a modest cost. But I didn't feel good about it, she said, of the loans made to the insiders. It might look like Alameda sort of funneling money to FTX executives. And as far as her on again, off again relationship, it created some sticky and awkward situations. I'm adding my own language in there a little bit. It was sticky, wasn't it?
It's very sticky, but the thing that upsets me about this the most is that in reality, there's very, very strong parallels with what Sam Bankman-Fried was doing in Alameda and FTX with what big banks do in the US. So I think that's part of the reason why they felt a little sheltered. They're also, quote unquote, paying off all the right people. I mean, for God's sakes, look at how much money they donated across both political parties. And then the speculation that he was going to pay Donald Trump $5 billion, potentially not true. He felt connected, he felt protected, and he was going out of the playbook. I think he did deviate from it some, but he did go out of the playbook of the way big banks operate. So in reality, they're all, I think, at fault. They're pointing the finger to Sam Bankman-Fried, but I don't think there's a fall guy. This is just a great lens on bad practice for business. And I'm happy it happened now, not in 5 years.
Yeah, it's almost better that it happened, a year after the peak versus the peak, because the peak, more and more eyeballs on it would just be a bigger stain, a bigger black eye on the cryptocurrency industry.
That's a great point. I want everybody that's watching right now to remember this moment in this previous bear market when FTX collapsed, because we already had a lot of cascading failures leading up to that. Turns out a lot of those are tied into some of the practices from FTX. But in the next bear market, the worst things that happen in the market tend to happen and cascade very terribly towards into the market, because that's when most of the pressures are on the finances and the business practices of companies that are either over leveraged or using bad practices as their process.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of the processes, what was the process behind Alameda FTX? She's the CEO of Alameda. He's the CEO of FTX, co-CEO. So they're totally separate, right? Not so fast. Well, according to her, she reported to Bankman-Fried even after being appointed CEO. I would ultimately defer to Sam, she testified. She said she had no equity in Alameda despite asking for it. Sam, his response, look, babe, it's going to be too complicated, and it don't make sense for her to get a stake in the hedge fund. Even though she did have a sliver of equity in FTX, it came out to 0.5% of FTX. He thought it was important to separate Alameda and FTX more optically. She also spoke about the unlimited line of credit Alameda had at FTX, but Bankman was the one who set up these systems. All right, borrowing from Genesis, pledging FTT, a big part of the testimony is Sam's desire to secure loans. Sam was directing us to borrow as much money as possible. This is something he talked about a lot. Her testimony shed light on why FTT made up such a large portion of their balance sheet. Sam said he wanted... I'm sorry. This picture got a little distracting for me. This was, from the top tier court sketch artists right there. I think they're up there. They call him the Da Vinci.
Yeah.
The Da Vinci of the courtroom, I think they call him.
Wait, is that Da Vinci's son, though? It's 3-year-old son? It looks like.
I don't know. I know there's a Dan Brown novel, and Tom Hanks is after him. I'm not sure there's an albino involved. It's this whole thing. But Sam said he wanted us to buy more FTT because he didn't want to put any of our loans in danger. It was a little misleading to put the FTT tokens on the balance sheet. I mean, check out that drip, though. It's a good outfit. Good outfit. They say that outfit cost $6,000. Did you guys see that?
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
really?
She had like a pretty expensive jacket, pretty expensive blouse, some, stunner shades on. We were borrowing billions of dollars using FTT as collateral. Genesis was a subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, which also owns CoinBase, which we're reading from here. Testing the judge's patience again. The lawyers appeared to wear on the judge's patience as they continued to raise objections through the testimony. What is the objection? They asked the defense. This is supposed to be a direct examination, Your Honor. Overruled. So I read a lot of the details. There was someone live tweeting the testimony, and there were a lot of objections, a lot of overrules. It played out like the bad lawyer and the legal drama, the one who's like, shut up and stop raising your hand. Overruled. You were saying it was kind of that energy there. Well, let's talk about Gary Wang here. Ellison took the stand immediately following testimony from Gary Wang. He was the quiet coder who last week told the court he wrote much of the programming that enabled the fraud. Let's see. We're also the defense attorney opened Tuesday by continuing cross-examination. Also hinted at a potential defense strategy, asking about Ellison's decision not to hedge positions. It was Ellison's decision not to hedge, right? She was the CEO. I don't know who made the decision. One area of interest was Wang saying he signed a number of promissory notes worth tens of millions of dollars from Alameda. He asked what the 35 million in one loan was for. It was like, well, just some company Sam wanted to invest in. Asked if there were occasions where Sam wanted to invest in companies but had someone else do it. He says something about not wanting this to come directly, he said, before cutting himself off briefly. So we're going to continue to watch this. We got a couple more stories. First off,
They just can't stop with these.
they can't. She's memeable, I guess you could say. She's definitely memeable. But again, I don't want to look shame anyone here. Sam Bankman-Fried wanted to be the president of the United States of America. They're talking about his ambitions.
Is that worse or better than having Joe Biden as the president?
Well, at some point you're like, well, if someone is more competent or more able to realize what room they're in, they can create more damage, right?
Yeah, more damage, but also, I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but I feel like there's some clear narcissistic tendencies here with Sam Bankman-Fried. So it doesn't surprise me that he, didn't look at this like a chessboard to get all the way to that sort of level. But obviously, that wasn't going to happen with how bad his business practices were.
Hold on, just real quick. Okay.
Oh no, the cat knocked off the grinder. What are you grinding over there, Doozy? Let's see. Finish to her work. Hey, now it's time to discover crypto. Thank you, Catch Them All. Let's see. I don't know how to separate her from meme. She's a walking meme. That's a fair assessment here. All right. Well, the assistant attorney. What did Sam tell you about his ambitions? Ellison, his ex-girlfriend, said that he would be president of what? The United States. Chat, what are Sam Bankman-Fried's odds of presidents if he hadn't been caught? I would say fairly high, because you can almost buy your way there. He was shaking the right hands. He was bribing the right people, and he wasn't dumb.
It's interesting seeing some of the washing that's been happening in the news narrative in the last 3 weeks or so. And I think it's primarily because of how much damage he did to reputations. I mean, he was on the cover of Time magazine, Forbes. He was meeting with Gary Gensler. He was the largest donor to President Biden. He was donating to so many people in the Republican Party. And everybody was heralding him like he was the golden child and the next Warren Buffett. Those words were what they were using. And so to have this stain now, it's of course they have to go into a little bit of a retraction mode of how bad that they could be being pundits on this.
Yeah, it is interesting. C90 talking about we don't want someone older in there, bringing up a good point. If they make the wrong call, they're not losing as much. They have less skin in the game. How many years they got left?
No, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, it'd be interesting if they had provisions for the types of bills that people voted on, if it had a 30-year impact versus a 10-year impact, and the age range of politicians that were able to vote on it. Because, what incentive do they have to change something or do something that's going to benefit later if they're not going to be around?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he has the communication skills or the persuasion skills. Maybe he could learn it over the course of decades, but I feel like if you don't kind of have the gift of the gab by your mid-20s, it's kind of hard to learn at that point. He has few communication skills. No way he'd become president of a country. He'd get murdered in debates.
Could you imagine him being in like a serious conversation with like a group of world leaders and he's playing whatever video game?
Well, I can imagine the primary where you have like 8 adults standing still, and then you got him just like, is it my turn to talk? I don't see him doing too well. Well, let's talk about Gary Wang here. FTX co-founder Wang discusses plea deal, knowledge of the financial concepts of the SBF trial. We kind of covered it a little bit here, but so they asked him, at your first meeting with the government, did you admit to committing crimes with the defendant? Wang said that he did. What were you told to do? To tell the truth or not get a 5K letter or worse. 5K is a motion filed by the government, which is a policy statement on substantial assistance to authorities. It allows the government to make the appropriate reduction to a sentence considering various forms of cooperation. So we got him cooperating. He's singing like a canary. According to another account of the trial, he said he met with government officials 18 times. First 2 meetings with Justice Department officials, then the FBI, then the SEC, and then the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And he told him Sam Bankman-Fried's tweet, "FTX is fine, assets are fine," was true. He testified that later he said that the tweet was true but misleading. It was not possible to liquidate the FTT tokens, as a sale of that magnitude would cause the token's price to fall. Do you know the difference between solvency and liquidity? Wang responded that he did. I think that he actually responded, "I do now." I think is what he said. So yeah, just because you have $1 million in an altcoin, so essentially they had a balance sheet and it just said $1 million of this altcoin. That's not the real amount. They had $1 million. Well, the first $10,000 you sell, you're not really affecting the price. Then you get to 50K. Then you get to 100K. Then you get to 200K. All of a sudden, that token that was worth $1 is falling. Now it's worth 90 cents. Now it's worth 80 cents. And you're almost feeling like a race against time. Oh my God, the price is falling. Just dump the rest. And then 70, 60, 50, 30, 20, 10, 5 cents, a penny drops to 99%. And so that's the difference between liquidity and solvency there. When will SBF's parents be exposed as masterminds? Well, they are very politically connected. Do you think their son's connected? That's nothing compared to the mother and the father with the academia. So they just might be too connected for any mainstream media to pick up on that story. All right, is it time to talk charts? Oh, wait, no, we got one more. Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer's back with a jab on Apex Crypto. Mr. Bitcoin's about to go down big. Inverse Kramer responds, took a dig at Bitcoin, suggesting it could take a significant hit. A lot of people who watch us are searching for ways not to lose money, but to make money. I can't go out with gold because gold is not good. I can't go out with Bitcoin because Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big. He said, does that make you want to buy?
Well,
makes me want to buy.
Jim Cramer has been, wrong quite a bit, but you also have to look at what he's done over the last 20, 30 years. He was part of a hedge fund. I don't know if he ran it or if he was just a member of it, but he has made money over time. I think that this inverse Kramer effect is something that is very interesting, and you can counter trade him very well on his calls that he does on the mainstream media. But in regards to what he's saying about Bitcoin, I think he's right to some degree. I do think that we're still going to see some further downside, but the strength of all the data that we're seeing with long-term holders, with whales, with the fact that 95% of all crypto hasn't moved in the last, I think it's like 60 days or something like that. The strength of the market right now is stronger than it's ever been. And we have legacy, meaning we have time in class over the last decade plus. So do I think it's going to fall super far? No, but I do think we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. So there's some truth to what he's saying.
All right. Catch them all. SBF. I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you.
I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my wallets.
Cleaning out my exchange. Wallets is better. Wallets is better. Closer to closets. All right. So what do we got in the charts? I mean, people are saying, oh my God, please don't show me the charts. I was in a good mood. Is it all bad news in the charts? Is there anything positive?
It's terrible news. It's over, guys. It's over.
It's over.
It's over if you're looking at a 7-minute chart.
I guess I'm gonna go like a boxing influencer now or something. It's over.
You know what? But no, just jumping in here. This is what you see on the chart.
I just got to choose the path of losers now, I guess. Of idiots and losers who have nothing. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm getting distracted.
So this is what you see if you're just locked into a tiny time frame. It looks like it's just, we're having a terrible time. But if you get back out here, look at the 8-hour chart. And I've been talking about this for the better part of the last week or two. In fact, I've been talking about a downtrend all the way since the beginning of August over here. And people thought I was crazy. People in this chat were saying, oh my God, he's so bearish. No, I'm just looking at the data. And this is exactly what's happened. We're getting this push up. We have not yet broken through this previous low range. This is the critical area that I'm really watching right now. And we talked about this last week, you and me, DZ, how we kind of had this apex point here around October 18th, October 19th.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about it. Now it's the 11th, 1 week away. So, we are 1 week away. I mean, I don't think it can get that tight at the very, very tip of the very, very last candle.
That's a good point.
Under a week,
it usually doesn't do this all the way into here and then break out.
All right. Well, you want to respond to Crypto Savvy's. Appreciate the super chat there, Savvy. Kramer is right. For the first time, new lows incoming.
I don't think new lows. I still think that we're going to hold up. Even if we get a pretty drastic downturn, barring some sort of major, catastrophic, with what's going on globally, we can't know what's going to happen. But I think that we're going to hold above, I would say 22 is as low as I would see it. Maybe a wick down to 19, a clear CME gap. But as we're looking at it right here, this was telling us that it was, we're still continuing this downtrend. We're coming into this apex area. This is roughly about when we tend to break out of an area like this. And the concerning factor is, if you look at this area, I'm on this tiny little mouse. There we go. This is a critical thing. There's a video going out this afternoon. I'm talking about breakout trades. It's going to be released here on Discover Crypto. And when we look at this on the 1 hour chart, look at this breakdown, come up, flip this previous support to resistance. So we're kind of hanging on by a thread for people that are bulls wanting price action just to go up. We're kind of looking at this level right here. If we lose this level, I do think that we're going to be testing down into the lower 26, mid 26s, lower 26s. And ultimately, I'm watching this 26,000 mark. If we lose this level, this is the last sort of level before we really get a bit more hardship down to 25. So as it stands right now, it's not looking super sexy. On the Ethereum side, I just wanted to point this out. I don't think it's in our news rundown. There's been a lot of inflows on Ethereum, but you always have to basically gather data from multiple sources and different types of data points. There's been a lot of inflows to exchanges, slightly higher than normal for Ethereum, but the whales are holding strong and only adding their positions. So, I did a short on it the other day. You can come off my screen. I did a short on it the other day, and that is, do you want to follow the mom and pop or the guy in the Uber or somebody talking down the street like, oh my God, this asset's so high, you should buy? No, you want to follow the whales. They buy when everybody else is scared. So understand your time horizon. Right now, it's still looking a little uncertain, looking like a little more downside. But yeah, that's all I got for the charts.
All right, great stuff there. We had a couple things there I wanted to point out. Would Kramer being right count as a black swan? Asked Root. I like that. Kramer being right. Is that a black swan? Maybe. Let's see. The only Kramer I know is Cosmo Kramer from Seinfeld. They also call him the Ass Man. Great show.
Great show. I've seen every episode 3 times.
Smash the like, share the message. Let's help the world discover crypto. So yeah, please smash that like. Where are we on likes, by the way?
120.
120, guys. We got to get that up. Let's get 49 more in the ASAP, and maybe even 300 total. All right. The guy in Uber has GPS. We're treading water till having. I think we're gonna have something play out similar to last time. I don't think we'll have a March 2020 Black Swan style crash, but I think we are gonna have a crash leading up. I'm just gonna go and say it 2 months before the halving. So what's that? 3 months from now? Yeah. I'm just gonna make a bold prediction here. We get a nice little crash 3 months from now. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin RSI signals here. It is signaling it is time to buy Bitcoin now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. The time is now. This is according to Vinicius Barbosa. How badass of a name is that, man?
Seriously, like the greatest.
Vinicius Barbosa?
Yeah, look at this. I mean, not only that, take away the glasses. Look, I wear glasses too, but you take that away, we got ourselves a full-blown vampire. Like a cool one though. Like Dracula era, not, sparkly, something like that. Like the old school. Vinicius Barbosa. Yeah, or that it's a poisonous fish. But you can eat like one section of it.
Yeah.
But if you deviate from that little strip of meat, you are dead. Yep. All right. What is Vinicius saying, before we get too sidetracked by his name? Investors should not rely upon a single indicator to make financial decisions, but the RSI is usually seen as a relevant signal to consider while trying to spot local highs and local lows. It can be used to identify trend continuation and trend reversals. And they're saying the precise pattern on the 4-hour chart using the RSI to identify a local high and a local low. So it looks like, all right, we're bouncing off a local low. Last time we was this low, September 25th. That caught a local bottom. The time before that, it was even lower. Then that also caught a local bottom. So looking pretty good on the 4-hour RSI. Same thing you're seeing here?
Yeah. Throw it to my chart. I'm just looking here. First off, on the 3-day, look at this, basically descending highs on the RSI coming down, also on the MACD, also on the stochastics. This was showing weakness coming into this zone the entire time. We had foreshadowing. 4-hour chart also. Look at this, weakness coming down, but we are getting down into a fairly low level, down to 34. But these RSIs can stay relatively low for quite some time. So while we may get a bounce here, that does not mean, don't jump in just because we're getting a bounce and you're excited.
Yeah. Don't want to just be bouncing. Get excited. Just be bouncing.
Like a
bouncing
bunny
for
rabbit.
no reason. That's what Bitcoin's price does to me. All right, let's talk about the hash rate here. Bitcoin's hash rate. That was an impression. The hash rate hits record high amid upcoming reward halving and market challenges. Here's some idiot trying to cut a coin. That's not going to work. Unless it's like one of those cool infomercial coins. Those things will work, though. All right. Amid global tensions, the miners navigate record hash rates and halving countdown. So now it looks like approximately, this is just going to be an approximation, 197 days remain. So 184 days, I think, is about 6 months, 182.5 technically. So we're right above 6 months here. Yeah, some trackers project an earlier date of April 21st, and there's even calculations so in March 2024. Again, a lot of this is just going to be guessed till we get closer. Well, the hash rate in terms of the 7-day standard moving average hit a record peak on the 8th. This hash rate soared, even with the difficulty scaling record 57 trillion here. So we need to zoom out a little bit better to see that. But yeah, hash rate's getting difficult. We're going to see that leading up until the halving. And then all of a sudden, block rewards are going to be cut in half. There's going to be a lot of people with the more expensive electricity. They're going to be cutting off the machines. So then hash rate will fall pretty seriously, and then it'll, slowly and surely grow for the next 3.5 years.
But why do we care about the hash rate, DZ? Why do we care about the hash rate?
Why do we care about the hash rate? The hash rate is going to be the difficulty in solving a 10-minute Bitcoin block. And the more difficult it is to solve, essentially is going to mean the more computers around the globe are trying to mine a Bitcoin. And so the more computers around the globe, meaning the more the cost of electricity per unit, per Bitcoin.
But also more secure. That means if you have an incredibly high hash rate, the more secure that network is. And if you think about it, anybody that thinks Bitcoin is magic internet money, I beg you to ask what your dollar is made from, because that's what magic money is right there. Bitcoin's value can be tied directly to the strength of the network as well as the use case of it. So this is, although it feels obscure, the hash rate is a good metric to see what's going on with the health of the miners on the network. Are they on? Are they off? And if you start seeing hash rate decline significantly, you might want to be paying attention to potential sell pressure coming in, because that means miners are turning off their machines and they're no longer profitable.
No, I wasn't Richard Simmons. I wasn't a Richard Simmons, nor was it Pauly Shore. And then you might have a relative or a neighbor or a coworker who's somewhat of a Bitcoin skeptic, and you tell them like, "Oh, this is a secure network. There's never been a more secure network in mankind's history. So many computers around the globe are making this network secure." And then they're just going to say, "What if someone hacks it?" Here's what you say. Oh, if they hacked it, well, that would just be a $528 billion bounty there. So people are heavily incentivized to try to hack Bitcoin. Yeah, $500 billion worth of incentive. Yeah, I see 500 billion reasons why it'd be a good idea to try to hack Bitcoin. It hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen, folks.
It would cost more money and take more resources to try to hack Bitcoin and get over that 51% sort of zone that they would need to. Then it would be worth it from what they could take. It would be prohibitively expensive and resource resource.
Yeah, yeah. And then the second you hit the switch, you light all your money on fire.
Yeah.
And so it just wouldn't make any sense. From game theory perspective, it doesn't make any sense. Is he out buying another? Who's? Oh, Tim. No, Tim's here. He's working on some scripts. I think
Smay's my guy, man. I miss that guy.
Vin Diesel, family, Corona, and a quarter mile. That's how I live my life. In one chain link price at a time.
And you know what I call Tim, by the way? Timbo Slice.
Yeah, Timbo Slice. Slice. Tim's like a little he's like a hedgehog of power.
He's like a hedgehog, almost like a bulldozer.
Yeah, guys, 600. He's ashamed because he can only deadlift 600. But let's talk about the Lightning Network here. Bitcoin Lightning Network transactions have surged 1,200% in 2 years. I remember Jack Mahler just crying about it. I remember back in 2021, if I could have gone back in time and told me to grow 1,200% in 2 years, I'd have to hand him a box of Kleenexes here. So we have a Bitcoin Lightning Network. The transactions are surging. So it looks like there are at least 6.6 million transactions in August of 2023. This is representative of a 1,200% gain since August of 2021, when there are 500,000 transactions. So we're seeing a nice little 12x in transactions on the Lightning Network, but I still don't see it being used to buy coffee anytime soon. All right, let's talk about one more Bitcoin story. Then we're going to talk about this legendary $8 billion just hedge fund manager. This guy's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of clout. He's telling people to buy Bitcoin. You're going to want to stick around for that story. But first, US PPI data has been announced. Here's the first reaction to Bitcoin and the dollar. So it's being followed for the week. It's dropped. Basically, a lot of things fell. PPI announced 2.2. Expected was 1.6. Core CPI, the core producer price index, is now 2.7. Expected was 2.3. Let's see. Here we see Bitcoin and DXY after the incoming data as follows. Wow. Wow.
that good?
That's a little spike there, Kelly. That's a nice big green candle you see on the DXY. I think that is that the DXY? Yeah. So DXY had a nice little surge.
Wait, what time frame is that?
Good
It's
point.
It's not going to be the daily. If it is, then
Okay,
there's no
so
risk.
yeah, you're seeing hourly. So this is 1 hour, and that's I mean, that looks like way more than 20 candles. That's more than 5 minutes. That might be like some weird chart, like 3 minute, 4 minutes, something like that, or maybe
So,
1 minute. Just zoom.
So come to my screen
could be
real
1
quick.
minute.
You can see this is the dollar right here on the daily, and it's maybe it had a little bit of a movement, but
Let's hit that 1 minute chart.
let's get
Stretch that
I got a 2 minute.
y-axis.
Yeah. Oh, it's small, little bit of a pump. So I don't know
Okay, so
I
it's
don't
the
know
pump on
what
the
chart
left.
that they
It's
were
the pump
talking
on
about.
the
This one
left.
right here.
Yeah, I think so. 1500 UTC, I believe.
A solid point. It was about almost 0.15%.
Oh wow, yeah. When you zoom in here, like 105 to 105. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's just people playing with the y-axis.
Fear mongers. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Paul Tudor Jones. Okay, he's the legendary investor. I like Bitcoin and I like gold, he says, and he warns of an imminent U.S. recession. So he's eyeing Bitcoin as geopolitical conflicts and the likelihood of recession increase. This was on CNBC. He says he's in favor of BTC in the precious metal as he anticipates economic trouble ahead that could send equities into an ugly corrections. I would love Bitcoin and gold together. I think they probably take on a larger percentage of your portfolio than historically they would, because we're going to go through both a challenging political time here in the U.S. and we're going to go through, we've obviously got a geopolitical situation. He says investors will likely pour at least $40 billion into gold as recession approaches, and that Bitcoin also may have a place in cautious portfolios. So here he's talking about treasuries and the debt markets. The stock market typically right before recession declines about 12%. It's probably going to happen at some point from some level. If you look at the big shorts in gold, more likely than not in a recession, the market's typically really long. It's probably $40 billion worth of buying that is yet to come in if that recession actually occurs. So yes, I like Bitcoin and I like gold right here. He said a recession will likely occur in the first quarter of next year due to the Fed's hawkishness and the rising yields on long-term U.S. Treasury bonds. So $8 billion signaling to people, hey, you know that little bit of Bitcoin you got, that 1%, hey, maybe make it a little bit more. I could see this having pretty large effects, because I could see this being not just, BlackRock subsidiary is thinking about a 20% increase. No, I think they're thinking about a 5% allocation to now a 1.5% allocation. So I'm not seeing a 20% increase. I'm seeing like a 200% increase. I'm seeing a doubling, a tripling.
I agree with that entirely. And when you're looking at, when you think about ultra wealthy, and also institutions, people that are trying to protect themselves, and all of you, when you start diversifying your portfolios correctly in a more meaningful way for your future, you're going to need to diversify. And when we're looking at, like, I have this chart up right here, Drew, that actually shows, this is from the Rational Root. It shows basically the price of Bitcoin, the market cap of Bitcoin. This is basically, we already tapped about where silver was, and of course we've retracted back. But look at, that's more than a 10x from previous all-time high of that market cap to get to where gold is. And this means that there's a huge amount of room for growth while also being able to hedge yourself in the markets in different ways. And people that are only in gold, then they need to basically get themselves positioned in exposure to something that carries a lot of the similar characteristics, only 100 times better because of the ability to transmute it and not have to store it and, what do you call it? To pay for transportation.
Yeah. Could you scroll in the chat? I think we're stuck on the top there. Is it you in control there?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
I got the mouse. Now, yes. I got the mouse stuck over there earlier. I couldn't get it off.
Silver kills werewolves. See, now I've missed the whole conversation, man. I assume they're talking about gold and silver. All right. Man, I missed the whole werewolf vampire debate there. Kelly, your favorite Pokemon. You look like a Cubone guy.
I've never once in my life watched Pokemon. I don't know anything about it. The only thing I've done is watch Joel here from Hit Network Gaming go through and do the Pokemon opening of the cards. And
him and Tony, they love opening packs, don't they?
Yeah.
I actually bought at Costco. It was $10 off. That's why I got it. Instead of candy, give out the little Pokemon pack of cards.
Yes. I want to get those for my kids for Christmas.
Dude, they're $10 off from 27 to 17.
Okay. I'll go get one.
Probably pick it up on the way home.
I will.
Pick it up on the way home today because they might be gone already. All right. You know, you're talking about storing value. Well, they store things in little paper bits of money. This essentially, you could call it a form of storage of dopamine, a storage of energy, a storage of trade, a storage of services. Paper is just a storage unit. Some say it was created, this little unit of storage, it's created to fund wars. What do you think of that take? I like it. Let's break down the story. We might chop it up here.
Well, it goes all the way back to the Bretton Woods Agreement coming off the gold standard. Because now, if you have paper money, you can print everything you need to fund any war.
They're not ready for that, Kelly. They're not ready for that. Well, we'll get in. We got to ease them into it towards the top of the bull run. That's when we started talking to them, about Eisenhower was right. That's when we go that far. All right, well, let's talk about the economic engine of war. His final speech is a great speech.
Yeah.
Tracing fiat currency's role in global conflicts. Unraveling the shadows, the war-driven legacy of fiat currency. Notably, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently remarked, fiat currency was invented to fund the cause of war. A bold claim, but a true claim, says DZ. But history does not lend credence to Kennedy's assertion. Ages ago, people traded with commodities and precious metals fashioned into coins. This practice shifted during the Yuan dynasty under Kublai Khan. Fiat currency, in essence, is government-issued money not anchored to a tangible commodity like gold or silver. Its worth stems from citizens' trust and faith and the government's monopoly on violence. That's a pretty cool paper money, man. I like that.
That looks like art.
So they're the first government entity to embrace fiat money as its exclusive legal tender. However, excessive issuance to fund civil conflicts led to rampant hyperinflation, similar to what we've seen in every single empire in mankind's history. We're seeing it now in America as well. So talking about were wars financed? Absolutely. The fiat system backed significant military campaigns until 1368. All right, so the Swedish fiat currency powder wars, like the 30-Year War, Second Northern War, and the Scanian War, this fiat model wasn't sustainable and eventually faltered, plunging Sweden into its first banking crisis. In the U.S., fiat money backed both the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, and while the continental currency crumbled, greenbacks, which backed the Civil War, depreciated markedly. We also saw it in ancient Rome. We got to talk about ancient Rome, at least once a day, right? Guys, we got to think about it.
It's been on my mind.
They debase their currency by lowering the metal ratios.
Yeah.
Precious metal ratios. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, it's been on my mind. The Roman Empire.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Chat, how often do you think of the Roman Empire? Once a week? Once a month? Every day?
It's crazy too. Like even in today's world, when you take coins out of your pocket, like a quarter, the reason they have those beveled the edges where they're ridges is all the way back from the Roman Empire, when people would shave off portions of the coin to either take some of that real metal that was involved with it versus like even our coins now are completely not at all involved with holding the materials that they're supposedly supposed to. Costs more to print a cent than it's actually worth.
Yeah, they used to cut pennies in half pennies.
So it's a coin from 1793. 1793.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1793 coin there. Yes, BJ carries that in his pocket all the time. It's part of his shtick, All right, let's see. History shows that fiat currencies often intertwined with war and malfeasance. Some contend that fiat played a role in events like the 2007 to 08 mortgage crisis, 2020 COVID pandemic, and numerous financial bailouts. Instead of reducing metal content as the Romans did, fiat central planners exert vast control via money printing and interest rate adjustments. Such fiscal levers, while potent, come with risks. As history shows, prolonged reliance on these strategies can and will inevitably lead to inflation, erode public purchasing power, potentially shake the confidence in the currency. Over time, unchecked manipulation can jeopardize the overall economic health of a fiat currency, leading to its ultimate fail and the ultimate failure of the government behind it. So this is not serious. I mean, this isn't a non-serious thing. This is a very, very serious thing. We really got to rein in our spending. We really got to rein in the money printing. And if not, Bitcoin's my flight. Bitcoin is my haven. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my 3.7 chain link to save me. What's your escape from inflation? It's Bitcoin. But if it wasn't Bitcoin, if it wasn't Bitcoin, what do you got? If it wasn't crypto, I guess
I'd be off the grid.
I'd
be off the grid hunting and living somewhere in a pasture far away. But no, Bitcoin. I mean, it's we do have to dance with the idea of especially with all the different stuff going on geopolitically, There's technology now. I mean, you know, I used to be in the Air Force. There's technology that can fly over a city and completely destroy every electronic unit there. So what's going to be the next stage? I think Albert Einstein was the one that said it. World War III, if fought with these weapons of mass destructions, the World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. So that's always on my mind, especially with everything going on geopolitically right now. So, but Bitcoin, until that catastrophic, mushroom cloud swan should appear, then Bitcoin is the only option outside of the traditional system.
Drew, you got chickens, right? That's yours.
I got chickens. I also I have a thesis in a video I put out last night on this channel that's talking about the potential that the U.S. realizes they're at the end of that life cycle for fiat currency and potentially might have created Bitcoin to absorb the world's trust once again, now that everyone's been disenfranchised with specific nations handling that world reserve currency at this point. Just a thought.
All right, Kelly giving out secret intel. Shh, don't tell him about the EMP on a stick. Yeah. All right, CCC. All right, speaking about the Romans. All right. But apart from sanitation, the medicine, education, wine, public order, irrigation, roads, freshwater system, public health, what have the Romans done for us?
That water was a big deal too. They had a very, very intricate water systems that really changed the ability that they had to grow food and have that specific clean water available for the people. Was a big advancement for humanity.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why they were able to grow those metropolises, is because they could, basically segment out populations from being, the nomadic culture actually stopped before that back in Mesopotamia. This is your lesson for the day, kids. Back in Mesopotamia, when they started doing farming and animal husbandry, no, not marrying animals, DZ.
Yes.
But breeding them together and being able to manage them in a certain area, that's when people are able to isolate certain specific tasks and do different roles and jobs and build out of that. And then you get Rome, where you actually expound on that and actually make it be an empire of, available to it, having aqueducts and all this stuff.
Lead pipes. All righty. Speaking of empires, let's talk about an empire right now and their failing credit system. Only 6% of global sovereign debt is AAA rated now. After Fitch downgraded U.S. earlier this year, the portion of top-rated government bonds fell to just 6% of the global outstanding sovereign debt. So about 1 out of every $18 is AAA. The rest, 17 of them, junk. Not even good enough to wipe your butt. Yeah. All right. Following Fitch's historic... It's probably good enough for that. Following the historic downgrade, only 6% of the debt outstanding still holds the top rating of AAA. As a result, the value of junk-rated bonds has exceeded those with the highest rating for the first time, a historic first for the bond market. Just $5 trillion. Jesus Christ, we got about $90 trillion of debt out there. All right, just $5 trillion of debt is still top rated. Because of it, only $5 trillion still holds the top ranking, making it a smaller group than the debt with sub-investment grade, Fitch said. This means that the portion of top-rated government bonds has declined to just 6%, down from more than 40%. Okay, that is quite the fall there. Why is it important? Well, they have these ratings based their evaluations on the stability, political risk, fiscal policies, and debt levels. And then this will essentially shift how they pay it back. The riskier it is, the more you're going to pay.
But DZ, this is a crock of, I'm not going to say it. You know why?
Why?
The housing crisis in 2008 was basically made possible and happened because they bundled together all these trash assets, and because they were bundled, they renamed the product to being a AAA rated product. And then what happened? It crashed because all they did was polish a turd, and you cannot do that with assets. I don't trust anything from any of these ratings anymore.
Yeah, this is what they did. They're like, man, I got this awesome pumpkin you're going to want, And they're like, well, it's grouped together with some other things, but you're like, yeah, but there's no like orange pumpkins with, I mean, look, it's this big group. Look, it's mostly black pumpkins. Yeah, but those orange pumpkins, I just really don't want any orange. Look, it doesn't really matter. It's mostly black pumpkins. You need to invest in this. This is what we're going to give you, okay? Don't look over there. So that's essentially what's happening there in real time. All right, just to make it seasonal for you, folks. I want to make it seasonal. All right, let's move on. What do we got next here? BlackRock. Let's talk about BlackRock, and then we're going to talk about COINBASE. BlackRock shares go digital on JP Morgan's Onyx blockchain here. This showcase near instant collateral transfer and BlackRock's tokenized share transaction with Barclays. So they're working on the tokenization of assets here. They're going to test this. And, you know, there's a lot of money at stake here, trillions of dollars at stake here, but this is pretty big. It's an Ethereum-based blockchain, and they call it the Tokenized Collateral Network, TCN. Sounds like an old school news station, right? Like Turner Classic Network or something
You're gonna
like
get
that.
your cartoons on Sunday.
Yeah, instead of TCM, it's TCN, you know, Turner Classic Movies. Well, we got Turner Classic News as well. The third largest banking institution, Citigroup, lost Citi Token Services in September, also a blockchain-based cross-border solution for institutions, which uses tokenized deposits and smart contracts for real-time settlements. They're going to get more and more use to using crypto, and then next thing you know, they're selling you Bitcoin at the bank. Just give it 10 years, folks. Arc Junkie, shout out to the JPEG junkies. We just got the Twitter handle, so I'm feeling good about that. It was a whole big thing with passwords and Google emails and all this stuff, and we finally got it handled. But Arc Junkie says that video was awesome. We need more Druth.
Hey, thank you very much. I put a lot into it. So
all right, I'm gonna watch it during my lunch for sure. All right, let's talk about Coinbase here. Move. I'm trying to see it. State regulators intervene in Coinbase's unregistered securities case. We've talked about this with Ripple, or like XRP had all these people come out of the woodwork and support them. An amicus brief, it's like an amicus curiae brief, filed to support the SEC, argued crypto is insignificant, only used for speculation, and captured by existing investor protection rules. So there's people coming out of the woodwork to support. Why are they supporting the SEC? Because they're the state regulators. So we got the federal regulators. They're looking at the 50 states like, can you help us out? Can you like give us just some bullcrap paragraphs on some paper, and then we'll turn it in and say, see, everyone agrees with us. Because that's the same thing Coinbase is doing. Coinbase is doing the same thing, like, hey, you know, all you exchange executives and lawyers, like, can you come out and like help us? So it's a battle of public opinion happening right now in the courts. Coinbase is well, let's see. Coinbase legal fight over the status of crypto met a new hurdle as the authorities joined a campaign to argue that the company unlawfully operated an unregistered exchange. But I expect Coinbase to keep fighting this. So they're going to fight it hard. All right, Coinbase and CoinsPH partner for USDC remittances in the Philippines. Not great news for the XRP community. So now you got USDC fighting for that Asia remittance market. So Philippine fintech company, CoinsPH, I'm guessing Coins.Philippines, and Circle, they teamed up, and so they're going to promote USDC denominated remittances in the Philippines. And we're going to play Jackie's segment after this Coinbase segment here. I think we got one more Coinbase story, then we're going to get into it. Circle rolls out native USDC tokens on Polygon. Didn't even know Polygon wasn't on there. So they provide going to use Polygon to provide USDC liquidity directly on the proof of stake scaling protocol, accessible to users. So Circle and application now support Polygon-based USDC, tapping into their scaling capabilities here. So just more and more Polygon announcements. Still going to be the biggest number 2, I think, heading into the next bull run. All right, let's. We got a fun little short we're going to play here.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's just. What do I need to do here? Do I
Just
need to
plug
do
in.
anything on my end?
Just listen. Just listen.
Just put in the headphone.
What's up, Discover Crypto Degens? I'm Jackie Dutton, mother of Degens, first of her name, and queen of the shitcoin kingdom, here to bring you a weekly dose of red flag warnings. There's money to be made here, but just make sure you're only here for a good time, not a long time. Let's get into it. My top tip for terrible advice today is using a tool made just for you. A pancake swap feature that lets you trade with not 10, not 50, not 100x leverage, but jokingly referred to as DEGEN mode of 750 times leverage. On a DEX. What could possibly go wrong? A Reddit user by the name of Sheeple9001 took to our cryptocurrency to let us all know that he did the Lord's work and attempted to trade using DEGEN mode, and it went about how you would expect.
And it's gone.
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
Shock. The most degenerate thing I've seen is coming up with a trading leverage so foul that you will rug yourself on unruggable coins. People using leverage this high also masturbate to large red candles, because this is such a guarantee you will lose money, it's practically a fetish. I might have accidentally just found the last niche that doesn't exist on Pornhub. You know what to do, internet. Next up, You understand that for maximum profits, you need to be getting in early, but have you gotten in early? Literally, the token is called Early. You can find more about this token on their X account at Earl ERC, but their big selling points are being early and
It's gone.
getting in early on this one could possibly make you more money than your Powerball tickets, or you will completely lose your ass on both because the odds of winning either one of these things is not good. But have fun. At the end of the day, there's speculative assets of cryptocurrency, and then there's shitcoins. One is like taking a girl home from the bar, and the other is like hiring a hooker. Only one of these options guarantees that you will eventually get. We now interrupt this broadcast for a word from our sponsors. Are you struggling in your daily life? Do you find yourself confused, depressed, and aggressively interacting with strangers? Do you wish that the world would realize you have purchased the next great cryptocurrency? Introducing Fudcopium, a revolutionary SSRI designed to help you find the pleasure in bag holding. It's like the bull market all over again. With a daily dose of Fudcopium, you too can once and for all block out the plaguing attacks of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and finally live FUD-free. Fudcopium helps me realize that immutable blockchain records aren't facts, and our CEO totally has this under control. I'm not worried about the thousands I'm down because I know it's 1000x from here. By utilizing patented grifting technology, Fudcopium delivers a concentrated dose of your favorite crypto CEO's bullshit, so you can insert it directly up your ass, allowing maximum effects to take place with a steady dose over time. By inserting Fudcopium daily, I no longer live in fear of FUD. Take back the pleasure of bag holding and find the joy in refusing to admit you've been scammed. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, divorce, moving into your mother's basement, anal itching, leakage, cancer, poverty, unnecessarily wearing 2 watches, and needing to block hundreds of people on X. Fudcopium. Find the pleasure in bag holding. Welcome back to the DEGEN Dungeon. The best thing about this space is how quickly contracts are deployed in response to current events, and this next project is no exception. All from the man whose tweets have probably launched 1,000 rugs. After recently posting on X that if there's ever a scandal about him, he hopes they call it Elongate, well, ask and you shall receive. ERC token by the ticker name Elongate was launched on Ethereum and already has close to a $1 million market cap and over $1.2 million in 24-hour trading volume. Never change, DeFi. The word salad of promised benefits are having a well-known developer who is on a mission to change the way projects are launched and traded on Ethereum, providing a safe, community-driven space with the potential to reward its community members. The X account handle is elongate_WTF if you want to DYOR. Whatever you do, make sure you don't mess with them in the comments section of their posts, though, seeing as the holders are as sensitive as a sphincter. Guys, it's a 2-day-old shitcoin. Calm down. It's also worth noting that Elon still only talks about Dogecoin, and if Elon starts tweeting about Elongate, it's more likely because he has elongated the list of women he has had children with, not this token. That's all for this week's DEGEN Dungeon on Discover Crypto. Make sure you follow me on X for more sarcastic shitcoin commentary at TheJackieDutton, and I will see you little DEGENs next week.
All right. Fantastic. So we're going to do that on Wednesdays about once a week, I think. Maybe we'll switch the day up, but how good was that?
That was thoroughly entertaining. I had not seen that, so
I hadn't seen it.
I was over here just laughing my little.
Yeah, I'm buying some Fudcopium right now.
Thank you for helping.
If I'm limping on ATB,
Thank you for helping me take mine. You know.
Hi. Hey now. Whoa, that one
Spread
makes
them
me sweat
cheeks.
a little bit now. Look, he was in a band. There's a drumstick. I had to do what I had to do. You know what I mean? All right, let's talk about Polygon and ApeCoin here. But honestly, guys, that was really good. Please hit the like button. We're going to try to do more of that. Let's show Jackie some love. I think we just put up her YouTube channel down below. It's in the live chat right now if you want to check it out. So check that out. Yeah, Elongate. Yeah, Elon has 10 kids, by the way. 10.
He just doesn't want the world to end. He's got to,
He's just doing his part.
Yeah.
He's doing his part.
Wait, is that why his last kid was X something like X? She's like,
no,
it
that was
it looked like he was cursing on accident, and it just did all the characters, you know.
well, that was one of the Grimes kids, so it's probably easier to talk her into a weird name than like some of his more normal exes here. All right, that was it was great. Deucey loves it. We all loved it. It was really good. All right, let's talk about Polygon. Polygon proposes custom ApeCoin Layer 2 to scale the ecosystem. I think this could be actually a really good thing. I think ApeCoin being on the main ETH mainnet there is going to create some issues with the video game thing. People aren't going to want to pay. You know, you play in the metaverse for an hour, and then when you leave the metaverse, it's probably going to be an on-chain event like, oh, you've got more bananas, and you did this thing, and you did a PvP fight, and you won 4 times and lost 3 times, and we got to update it on the blockchain now. So do you want to save your progress? And you click yes. And then it gives you a gas fee, and you're like, do you want to pay $27 to save your progress? You're like, no. Why am I even playing this stupid game? But if it's 27 cents, and you're like, oh, I leveled up my guy, or I leveled up the sword, and maybe I could sell this sword, and so there's 20 cents of value, but I added $5 worth of value to the sword by slaying 17 orcs. That would be a good thing. But yeah, we got to get that fee down for the on-chain game event.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be I don't want to call it a problem, but this is going to be an issue that we're going to see across different blockchains as projects and adoption starts to scale. When you start seeing a lot of traffic, we think of it just like buying, selling, trading, but with DeFi projects and smart contract platforms, layer 1 and layer 2 solution protocols, every single thing somebody does in the metaverse ends up potentially being an on-chain basically transaction, and that, you know, having reasonable gas fees to not limit that is going to be critical.
Yeah, the scenario I gave up is, you know, imagine like a Fortnite style game. You got 100 people, and everyone puts up $1. You put up $1 in ApeCoin, and then the winner is going to get 90 ApeCoin. Second place gets 10, and then 98 people leave with nothing. People would play that game.
Yeah,
it would be pretty fun. So it looks like Bitcoin just crashed through 27. Let's look at it right now. Yeah, so we were talking about, guys, knocking on the door again. I keep knocking on this door, and then they finally burst through the door. So Bitcoin is now fallen below 27K. We'll continue to keep an eye on it.
It fell right through that level I was talking about. Coming on my chart here, fell right through that level I was talking about. And where did it go? Here on the BitLab trading stack, we have these order blocks, and it's finding support currently right in here. If it can't hold this level, we may be coming down here to the low 26s. So got to keep an eye on it.
All right. Well, speaking of gaming, we just talked about Ape. There's another one, another layer 2, IMX. I've talked about IMX on the past. Well, today, Immutable X announced a strategic partnership with Amazon to accelerate the onboarding of game developers and to promote digital ownership of objects to the millions of players worldwide. This role is going to be critical because within the AWS cloud, we're going to find the presence of Ubisoft, Warner Brothers Games, Riot Games, and Epic Games. So it's just yet another collaboration with AWS. So AWS holding Web3 on its shoulders there. Let's see, Quant and Link in top 5. Not too bad there, not too bad. Dude, that's how I played WoW. I just stuck trying to just get the best gear. Yeah, you know, you end up wasting like 4 hours, but you're like, hey, my tunic is worth $5 more now. That's good, I guess. All right. Look, nothing against the grinders. Okay, the people. No, not the polykill grinders. Talking about the World of Warcraft grinders. Just the grinders in general.
Are you gonna share your profile on Grindr?
Well, I don't have one, but I do like Pretty Ricky. It's a good song. Grind on me. All right. You weren't supposed to tell anyone about my secret account there. All right, let's talk about Sony, and then we're gonna move over to the NFL. All right, Sony PlayStation 5 Slim console revealed, and it's more expensive. It's coming in November, and with some tweaks and upgrades and a higher base price. So the slimmer PS5. Where are the PlayStation fans at? You like PlayStation, you like Xbox, you like Nintendo.
PlayStation all day.
Xbox all day.
Nintendo all day. I'm not even trying to be funny here. All right, well,
hey,
I guess
got
we'll
the
never
Wii
get
U
along.
during the pandemic, and I tell you what, I dove into Zelda for a good 2 weeks.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I went from Super Nintendo. Well, you know, I was poor and old, so I had a Nintendo to like the 90s. Then I had a Super Nintendo like after it'd been out. I think 64 is out at that point. And then I got a 60. I'm just team Nintendo.
But did you ever take a little trip outside of that all this ecosystem and go to the little ugly redheaded stepchild, Sega Genesis.
So I knew some people with Sega. Sonic was pretty bad.
Yeah,
I like Sonic. Sonic was cool. Game Gear was cool
What
too.
was the Crash Bandicoot's what locked it in for me on PlayStation?
Twisted Metal was good.
Twisted Metal was.
All right. Well, Sony's going to have a new console for the holiday season ahead. They just announced, and unlike the previous digital and disc-based models, the single smaller model will be sold with or without the Blu-ray drive, which can be purchased separately and added later if desired. So it's 30% smaller than the original and 24% lighter in terms of weight. It's going to sell it for $450, $50 more than the existing digital edition without a disc drive, or the full-bodied model for $500 there. So new one coming out, $450 with the disc player, $500. I'm sorry, $450 without, $500 with there. All right, let's talk about NFL here. NFL Alumni Association unveils new project to help retired players. I think that's a good thing. They're teaming up with Aventus. This is on the Polkadot parachain to open up new revenue streams, including the creation of NFT collectibles for fans. It aims to leverage the name, image, and likeness of retired players who choose to participate in the offering. So NFL Alumni Association is a nonprofit linked to the NFL, but independently operated there. So you collect these tokens and you'll gain access to various benefits, including signed merchandise, metaverse-based experiences, video content, and the opportunity to participate in decisions related to future NFT drops. So it's good, anything for the retired players, because I don't know if it's as bad today, but I know like in the 70s, 80s, all those players, they got sent up the old proverbial creek without a paddle. Now that we know a little bit more about CTE and just health in general, I think they're taking a little bit better care of them. All right, government-backed newspaper China Daily to launch NFT platform. I would say this is more just this is a government-ran paper. It's more just signaling a shift in China's stance here. So it's steered by the publicity department of the Chinese Communist Party, and they're stepping in the digital frontier by initiating a project at creating its own metaverse and NFT platform, setting aside 2.8 million yuan, which is only 400K for a third-party contractor tasked with this. So I don't know how much they can get with 400K. They probably just need to spend that just in marketing, just to get it to the 1.3 billion people here. Let's see. Lenovo directs 1.2 into AI research as the AI investment markets boom. So AI is not dead, potentially here. So looking pretty good. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to get to XRP. Where are we at on time? We're not too bad. All right. One more story, though, on Cardano, and then we'll do XRP. Cardano staking valuation hits 5.7 billion. But what does it mean for Cardano's price? Not too much, because the October loss is bringing its losses towards 12%, it looks like. Aggregate data from 15 exchanges. So traders have rapidly mounted orders to purchase ADA. So maybe ADA is going to be on the way up. The number of ADA staked has reached a 90-day peak, reaching 23 billion tokens as holders turn to staking protocols to mitigate losses. Yeah, I staked through the Nami wallet, and it's actually my pinned tweet. It'll show you how to do everything within the Nami. So if you go here, click on this complete guide, you go to Nami. Once you get the wallet downloaded, let's see, you scroll ahead, you get it down there. Once you get your seed phrase, this is me sharing my seed phrase there. I share my seed phrase there. There's sharing my password. And then right there, it says delegate. Let me go back to that one more second. Right there, it says delegate. You click on that, and then you could delegate the coins within the wallet there. So shout out to Barry Alessandra. All right, is this the Ripple story? We got the right one here. All right, Ripple. Where's the XRP fans? Did they hit the like button? Are they smashing the like button?
They need to.
They need to. Let's make them do it. I'm going to sit here and wait patiently until we hit 87,000.
Hey, X marks the spot, baby.
I grew up with Crash Bandicoot, had a PS1 in the room when you were 5. Probably a little too young. I'm going to go ahead and say it. But you got you into crypto, so maybe it was a good thing there. Nintendo will always be king. More games for Nintendo. Sega was lit. Mutant League football. Okay, some oldies but goodies there. I was a Tetris fan.
Did you watch the movie, the Nintendo movie? It's phenomenal. It tells the story of basically bringing Nintendo from, or it was Tetris, sorry, not Nintendo.
Yeah, I saw the Tetris one.
Yeah.
The Tetris one is really good. Really good film. Interesting filming techniques in it, too. He's seeing Tetris vision as he's driving around and stuff. All right, let's talk about Ripple here. Ripple attracting institutional investors in Dubai, according to the Sologenic report here. Disclaimer. All right, in a new report, Sologenic, this is the XRP ledger-based platform, highlights that Ripple continues to attract institutional investors in Dubai. UAE has led the way in emerging XRP technology. Learn how the teams are making an impact in the region. Let's just go straight to the source code here. More below. All right. Oh, you got to go click on risky click of the day.
I'm surprised to be hearing from Solargenic. They've been out of the news cycle for a while.
They have. They're really big in the news when XRP was doing the
Yeah.
changes for NFTs. So then not
Just
much.
nothing. And their price is like pretty below where it actually started at.
Yeah.
Just
All
a
right,
side
so
note.
yeah, they have a global expansion initiative. So it looks like they're reaching out. Here they're talking about the ban Exa and then uphold the stupid Medium thing. They're going to try to make me. I do have a Medium account. We've written for the junkies and stuff. Dubai emerges as a hub, so a lot of money still going to be in Dubai. So they're leaning into the Middle East for investment. So they got their Asian strategy, they got the Middle East strategy. And so it seems to be a good strategy. Then they got Fighting America regulator strategy. So they got like a 3-pronged attack right now. And then really a 4th-pronged, a 4th-pronged attack if you count South America and everything they're trying to do with the remittance payments there. But I kind of lumped that with Asia Pacific. All right, let's talk about, do want to give a shout out to Link2 to reopen pre-IPO Ripple stock investment opportunity. So, people might not know Ripple, privately held company. But if you want to get access to these privately held companies, you can't just do it if you're a regular Joe. You got to pass through all these loops. You got to pass some tests. You got to have a certain amount of assets. You got to be an accredited investor. Well, there's ways to navigate that landscape without having to be, born with a silver spoon in your mouth, without having to know all the tests and know all the regulations. So Link2 reopening pre-IPO Ripple stock opportunity. So if you want to get in on Ripple on the ground floor without being tied to the token and the billion that they, unlock every month. But hey, 700 million's in escrow. They only sell 300 million and it's for liquidity demands. If you want to avoid that whole situation, hey, maybe there's opportunity with Link2. So I do want to give them a shout out. 100 Air, we guys doing a meetup in Atlanta anytime soon. I'm not sure.
I meet with you guys every day.
Yeah. We have
should have
a
a
8:30 all hands on deck news meeting. We go over that. So
What if
that's
we had
what
a
you mean.
concert, though? We should have a concert, Kelly.
Should we start the band?
We're getting the band together, I guess.
Bust out my radio voice, throw it
Yeah.
on a mic with a song.
Come on now.
Hey, I got that new guitar.
Hey, there we go. We
See?
got BJ on the bass. All right. Well, senior executive at Link2 proclaimed that they're considering reopening the gates for intending investors to buy Ripple shares after the initial window got sold out. So, they have a certain allocation. Sold out, folks. We were telling you about Link2 early on ATB. So some of the people that jumped in on the platform earlier, they got in, but I'm assuming they'll have to buy another allotment, or they can't just give you shares out of nothing. So they're probably going to try to get their hands on some. They need to see if the demand's there. I would say the demand's there. I mean, if there's about the only thing I would want to invest in would be Ripple Labs there. Well, Ripple rival Quant launches new tech that secures blockchain transactions for a bank. So Ripple has more competition. First, we were talking about USDC. Now it's also Quant. So it's going to be a battleground over the next coming years as we get closer to the bull run there. All right, let's go over the X minute. Anything you guys want to share first?
I want to share something real quick chart on XRP, because I know people are hungry for it.
Oh, yeah.
XRP, everybody got really excited when we pumped up here. Obvious rejection that we came back down to. This is starting to look pretty scary for any sort of bulls involved. This is a Head and Shoulders. Don't think otherwise. Head and Shoulders drawing there. Apologize. That's NSFW.
Yeah, that was a long head.
Wait, well, you know what?
That's not.
This is a very shafty Head and Shoulders. So, but as we can see here, we got the neckline that we've already bounced off of. If we do lose this, we do have a potential. If we were to measure out this Head and Shoulders, I just want to point this, because I don't think this is going to happen.
And that's from the tip of the head.
From the tip all the way to the base of the neck shaft here.
Yep.
We can go all the way. This would be targeted all the way down here into the 25-cent range. I don't personally think that's going to happen, but I do think we'll probably test down here into the lower 41s just to fulfill some of this lack of bullish narrative. Now on Quant, really quick, Quant has been just providing us better and better opportunities, lower and lower price. And remember, Quant it's one of my preferred altcoins that I'm stacking into the next bull run because of the tokenomics of it, and because it's also straddling between the decentralized world and then also having some sort of interaction with sovereigns and governments and a CBDC talk. I'm not a fan of CBDCs, but I will make money off of it if they choose to go that route.
All right, for sure. Make it right. It doesn't like it when I talk about XRP. I mean, a lot of people don't like when I keep bringing up that the fact that, look, there's a 55-month plan where Ripple Labs is going to dump 1 billion XRP. I say dump. All right. So that's why, I use language like that. They unlock 1 billion XRP every month, and then they sell typically 20 to 40% of it. And then they lock up the remaining in an escrow. Well, what do you think the escrow is going to do eventually? The escrow is going to start selling. So when I say, yeah, they're dumping 1 billion tokens, it might not be all at once in 1 month. But, that is essentially what's keeping that price down. So if you're wondering why XRP has a moon, they're unlocking 1 billion tokens every month and selling like 300 million every month. That is significant, severe selling pressure. And people say, no, it's not selling pressure. They're providing ODL, on-demand liquidity. To me, if you're not getting the distinction there, I don't want to get too rude, but you just kind of have to look between the lines there, folks. All right, let's get into the X minute now. All right, first we have tracking data on politicians' financial ties for the past few years. Several congressmen have been investigated for financial crimes. The charges rarely stick, and then they have some examples. I might have to do a short on this later. I think people like it when I'm exposing the elites and everything that they're doing there. Head and Shoulders now. Okay. Whoa. Here we have the Wolf of All Streets. We like Scott Melker, been on the channel, been on the show, ETB a few times. JP Morgan launches tokenized platform. First trade settled with BlackRock. We talked about this. I think just really the headline is the story here. JP Morgan launches the tokenized platform. First trade settled with BlackRock. Huge stuff right there. Then we have former NSA director and CIA director musing about senators being taken out of the human race. So not really a good thing. What's going on with that guy? So I just want to call out General Michael Hayden, just being a kind of a douchey piece of crap there. All right, here we have California's anti-misinformation law collapses thanks to that stupid, pesky First Amendment. The way I think about the First Amendment in this scenario, it's like the villain from Scooby-Doo. And I would have got away with it too if it weren't for that pesky First Amendment. It's like, oh, it's all their fault. No, it's your fault for having the stupid law in the first place.
He's got great hair, though. For his age.
I mean, the guy's a slick politician.
Yeah, he's got great hair.
I said, he wakes up in the morning, he spits bull crap out of his mouth and just does this. It's kind of what it looks like, right? All right. Then another RFK talking about he announced his exit from the Democratic Party to run as an independent. Here's what it means. More Pelosi stock updates, though. How is she so good? How does she keep getting away with this? We don't know. I said Caroline's look was 6K. Let's check it out. Here's you want that Caroline drip? Steal her look. All right, let's zoom in a little. Lulu Lemon. $60 hat.
$60.
$60 for this.
That's such a terrible hat.
That looks like the cheap hat at a gift shop.
Yeah.
She's got her headphones in while she's rocking that, walking through New York City.
Yeah, she got the $180 Ray-Bans.
Call 20-inch blades.
$4,600 coat here, Saint Laurent. And then $1,000 dress there, and then a $30 little mug though. So hey, you want that drip? Just $6K.
I just can't get over the hat. My God, we're doomed.
It's an expensive hat.
That's crazy. We're doomed. That's why.
Coinbase Ventures is a gem finder. So if you want some gems, some not yet released tokens in most of the cases here. So hey, what are they investing in? So you could check that out. Hey, this is all right. Then we're just going to end with we like Doug, proof of dry clean. He does clean his jacket. All right, we're gonna end with this. I can't remember what this was. Oh, it was I think it was talking about how savage the Indians were. So people, like Columbus, Indigenous Peoples Day. It's like, no, the Indians were peaceful. No, they were pretty bad, and they had like raiding parties, and that's kind of what they did.
I mean, they took out the Vikings. So I mean, they were
they targeted women and children. Yeah. So just no, man. They just sat in a circle in this like leather teepee and passed a pipe around. No, they're targeting women and children. Indians, the Round Eye, all of them.
Well,
right.
I mean, to be fair, we're also talking about, a couple hundred years ago, several hundred years ago. And people were not good generally in any culture. So I don't want to single out any different culture out there.
Oh, I'm singling them out. Yeah, I'm talking about the Comanches. I'm talking about you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was a lot of tribal warfare, in North America. All right. Look, we hated each other. Look, there's finite resources, and we just don't want our kids to starve to death. I think that was mostly the issue. All right, we're going to end with a daily dose of the internet, just something to make you smile. And if you end up smiling from this, I hope you hit the like button. I'm not sure on the commentary here, but we had an old lady crossing the street. We got this jerk filming everything. They stopped. It's funny when you see what they do. They're like, okay, they're just gonna kind of like grab her by the elbow. They're about to pick up grandma, y'all.
Hurry up.
They're about to pick her up and run her across. They don't stop at the median. Let's just keep going. Keep going.
She's
keep
probably
going.
like, what?
What is she gonna do
I
with
mean,
that
the
or what?
wind's blowing in her hair. She hasn't felt wind in her hair that fast, and I don't know how long, y'all.
Oh, that's
She's
true.
like trying to give him a hug.
Oh, they got it back to her quick. That's good.
Oh, they got
That's
the
good work.
purse. No,
Yep.
she's joking.
That's good work.
Kelly. All right, that was good. That was just a
That's
good,
so sweet.
good internet video. And you know the guy in the blue car is like yelling at him and stuff like, hurry up!
We're gonna help you get the hell out the way.
All right, so you know what? Humanity, it's not dead. There's a lot of bad news happening right now. There's a lot of negativity. You got people at war. You got people trying to fight other people. Me, I'm just trying to spread positivity, trying to spread love, trying to spread that alpha to get you into a financial secure situation, get you a house, get you a car, afford that 18th child that, out of wedlock, whatever your goal might be. You know what? I'm tired of cheap peanut butter. I want better peanut butter, whatever it might be. I want to help you get from A to B. I want to better your life. And so the way I'm going to choose to do that is by spreading positivity. It's not by spreading negativity. It's not by just being an ugly person, in general. It's just going to be like Mike Bennett says, be sweet, y'all. Be sweet. All right, Metaspawn, I would call the police. Come on, Metaspawn, have a heart. Have a heart there. All right, folks, please hit that like button.
I got to get out of here. I got to go do the BitLab stream. So I'll see many of you there. Check
All
it
right,
out.
yeah, we went a little. All right, that's all we got. Until next time, easy out. Hit the like button.